Now, the grow complex, which is connected to the original farmers market owned by the A.F. Gilmore Company, the complex builds the space previously occupied by an orchard and a nursery, which was the last remains of a dairy farm owned by the A.F. Gilmore Company in the latter part of the 19th century. The development began demolition on an antiques alleys and the older buildings on 3rd Street behind CBS Television City and broke ground for the new mall in 1999. There was some controversy over potential increase in traffic in a busy Los Angeles neighborhood that already offered several other shopping venues, including the Beverly Center. The Grove opened in 2002. Several television shows from Extra to the Dancing with the Stars have been filmed there over the years. The history behind the development of the area of Gilmore property that eventually became the Grove was not without controversy. In 1984, the Gilmore Company, A.F. Gilmore Company and neighboring CBS Television hired Olympia and York, California Equities Company to look at the possibility of creating a major business and entertainment complex that would have been twice as large as Universal City, but would have required demolition of all the existing structures at both Farmers Market and CBS in the process. The plan was not well received by the city of Los Angeles or by the neighbors of the plan. Was later shelved. 2 years later, the A.F. Gilmore Company and CBS hired Urban Investment and Development Company of Chicago to create another development plan. Now, in 1880, the story begins. The A.F. Gilmore Company bought 2 dairy farms in Los Angeles area. The partners elected to split their holdings 10 years later, and Mr. Gilmore took control of the large 256-acre ranch, its dairy herd, and farmlands at what is now the world's famous corner 3rd and Fairfax. The city, which would eventually surround the property, was still far to the east. By the 1900s, oil. When A.F. Gilmore Company wanted to expand his dairy herd, he started drilling new wells for water. He discovered oil quickly. The dairy herd was replaced by a field of derelicts, which remained in place until Los Angeles boundaries expanded surrounding the Gilmore property. Although the rich oil field continued to generate crude, the derelicts were no longer permitted on a large scale. 2 entrepreneurs and an idea. The Gilmore property remained largely vacant until the 1930s, when the height of the Depression's 2 entrepreneurs, Fred Beck and Roger Doham, approached the AF's son, Earl Bell, E.B. Gilmore, with an idea. And this was the beginning. Fred Beck and Roger Doham wanted to build a village at the corner of 3rd and Fairfax where local farmers could sell their fresh fare. E.B. Gilmore agreed to give it a go. In July 1934, dozens of farmers and a few other merchants parked their trucks at the corner of 3rd and Fairfax and sold the fresh produce from the back of their trucks. Farmers Market grows. By October 1934, mere months after it opened, farmers and merchants, including restaurants, grocers, and
Earl Service. Welcome to Earl Service, an authentic replica of a 1930X Gilmore Oil Company gas station. The station represents a snapshot in time, the date, July 14, 1936, and contains all accoutrements of gas station from that era, including period gas pumps with beautiful glass globes, striking neon, and handcrafted porcelain signs. We want to share the wonderful history of the Gilmore Oil Company, which began here on the site of the farmers market when oil was struck at the turn of the last century.
service providers were moving the permanent stalls, and new farmers was so popular that it founded and staged a celebration of the first fall festival at Farmers Market. It grew into a must-see destination for travelers from around the world. Farmers Market was always a favorite place in Los Angeles. Families to shop for groceries. These two housewives dazzled the fresh produce selections at the farmers market. Over time, farmers markets continued to grow. Structures like the Marvel's General Store were a part of the modern Los Angeles, and the market always retained its own unique, quaint style.
The history of the Gilmore Oil Company, 1900 to 1945, dairy farm to oil field. $3,500 stations in 3 states. The Gilmore station at Shady Grove in Banning, California featured eye-catching dramatic waving and customers with Gilmore checkered flag. The Big Pump, Portland, Oregon celebrates the first shipment of oil line. Parades, car races, air shows, boat races. Gilmore Oil takes to the sea, road and the air and the sea. May 30th, 1935. Records first stunts.